Hello, I'm so glad that you are here to watch part one of how to stop sacrificing your life in order to grow your business. So I put the link in for your workbook. I know that you love a good workbook. So this is part one of your workbook, and then you can tune in for part two and you'll get your workbook for part two. So that way, all you have to focus on is right here, right now, you and me. I'm going to be quick and concise, under 45 minutes for you, and it's packed full of value for you to live happier, to grow a business. I really do believe you can be happy and you can grow a business all at the same time with focus, with solutions, with systems in place, and I have got you. So just give me your undivided time, as much as you possibly can right now, and you can always come back and watch it over and over and over until it sticks. I am here because I want you to be wildly successful. I truly love what I do. So if we have never met before, my name is Nellie Corvo, and I am known as the Sales Queen, and I help busy entrepreneurs like you make money doing what you love without sacrificing your life. So I'm gonna add that right there because that is very important to me. I have seen it all in entrepreneurship, not only in my journey, but other people's journeys. And it has become so clear to me that there's this stigma, especially as women, that you have to sacrifice everything, right? It's an all or nothing. You can't be with your kids and grow a business, or you have to give up time with your kids, like a crazy amount of time, to be able to grow a business. Or if you don't have kids, you have to work from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, and you have to sacrifice your sleep, and this is what you have to do in order to be successful. Well, first, everyone defines success in very different ways. What I see as successful and you see as successful is so different. So it's already skewed when we just use that basic label. So what I'm so excited about this masterclass is that we're gonna get really clear on what it means to you. We're gonna make that plan. So part one is all about getting clear on where you're at and where you wanna go. And then part two is going to be the how. How are we actually going to do this, right? It's nice to say that you only want to work 20 hours a week, 40 hours a week, and if your reality isn't that way right now, it's really hard to convince yourself, right, that that's actually possible. So we're gonna knock all that down in part two. So make sure that you have your notifications turned on to make sure that you get part two, whether it's live or the recording. It does not matter as long as you are here with me, okay? So part one is very important. If you have the workbook, go ahead and pull it up. That's okay if you don't have it up and ready. You can always print it off or write on it on your screen later. So just hang with me no matter what. So the very first thing that is so critical is that we know how many hours you're putting in right now versus how many hours you actually want to put in your business, okay? Everyone's different. You may be in a season of your life where you're like, I love to work, I'm able to work, I wanna work 80 hours a week and I am totally game to do that. Or you may be in a season like me where it's like, that's not possible without literally everything else in my life unraveling, right? I've had weeks many years ago where I've worked crazy amount of hours, and guess what? The laundry starts piling up, my marriage doesn't have the attention that it deserves, the self-care suffers, right? So you have to be really honest with yourself when you're filling out this and saying, okay, where are my hours at right now? And if you don't know, you need to track your hours. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what I always like to think about is if you were to work for somebody else, okay? If you were to work for somebody else, there would be a job description, right? There would be expectations. There would be, this is when you're working, this is when you're not working, this is your pay, these are holidays that you get off, here's your bonus structure. All of this would be laid out for you if and when you worked for somebody else, right? But then this crazy thing happens when you become an entrepreneur where that all seems to go out the window, and then you're working like crazy, you have no structure, and you're sometimes even working for free or very little, and that's when the burnout can really creep in because we haven't set the structure. So you really need to put your CEO pants on and say, there needs to be more structure here, okay? So we start with saying, How many hours are you working right now? Just on average. Give me an average, okay? How many hours are you working right now? And this counts everything, right? So if you need to check your screen time, check that. I even check, I keep track of my screen time on my computer. I keep it all. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to know this number. I don't want to know this number, but it's information. And I have a game with myself now where I try to beat it every single week and be more laser focused, more efficient, especially when it comes to screen time, because that can be the slippery slope. Have you ever gone down a TikTok rabbit hole and you're like, oh my gosh, it's 2 hours later and I have done nothing for my business, or I said I was going to work out today. That didn't happen, right? So how many hours are you working right now, and versus how many you want to be? Are you working 80 hours, but you really would love to work 40, and that would be like a game changer? So that's what you're going to get clear on first. I then want to know why. Why is that important to you? Whether it's more hours or less hours, give me some why. I want to know why, because without a why, we're just blindly throwing things at the wall and there's no meaning to it. And when there's no meaning to something, you really don't care, right? It's just facts. So we want to know why. So then you're going to go to, what are you paying? So this is not how much revenue you're bringing in, because there's a very big difference. I've talked to entrepreneurs in private conversations where I'm like, how much do you want to be bringing in? They're like, oh, I'd love to be bringing in this. I'm like, no. That's what you want to take home. So your business is going to have to be making way more, right? Because there's expenses, there's taxes, there are all those little nitty-gritty details. So for this exercise, want you to tell me and tell yourself, what do you want to be paid, right? Think of this as your actual job. You're setting your own hours. Now you're telling me how much you want to be paid. So you're going to tell me how much you're getting paid right now. Be honest. No one else has to see this. I don't even have to see this. This can literally be coaching yourself. And I want you to say, what are you getting paid right now versus how much you want to be getting paid. This can be for a whole year. So we'll just make it like a salary basis just to make it easy for you. So how much are you on track to make this year, bringing home, right? So that is literally money in your bank. I don't even want you to count taxes. If you can, I don't want you to even count taxes. I want this money in the bank. If it's easier to count taxes, totally cool. But make a little note, okay? So money that's actually right now versus what you want to be making, okay? And then again, I want you to tell me why. Why? And when you do that, I want you to dig even deeper, right? So if it's time off, if it's because you want to travel, so for the less amount of hours, maybe you want to work less so you can go travel, which we're gonna need money to do that too. So your time and your money are gonna be very connected, okay? So give me some why there. Now we're gonna go into the not so sexy stuff. So hang with me. You don't have to tell anyone about this. But now you just created your dream reality, right? You've told me, oh my gosh, Nellie, okay, this is how many hours I would wanna be working per week. And this is how much I would love to be paid per year. This would be literally, tears would be running down my face if this were my reality, okay? So now this is when the limiting beliefs start to creep in, right? You're feeling all the feels, but then there's just like this, can you really do that? Do you deserve that? Are you worthy of that, right? So I want you to get really clear, and we've got to let go. We've literally got to let go of all limiting beliefs, okay? They are not your authentic self. They are not your truth. And you've got to let them go. Literally, it's called limiting, right? Do you see that word? Limiting beliefs, okay? We got to let them go. Now, do I believe that it happens just like that? Like, my limiting beliefs are flying away and now I'm on top of the world and nothing can stop me, right? No, it's like a muscle, but we've got to be aware of them. We've got to address what those mean girls are in your head, right? You know who they are. You know those voices in your head. So I want you to get them on your workbook. I put 5 spaces there for you because I want you to think of the 5 limiting beliefs, the 5 limiting phrases that you say over and over and over like a broken record in your head. You could probably shave down your time by just letting go of those and not literally having them go through your head and they exhaust you, right? So we've got to let go of those mean girls, okay? I want those on your paper. We've got to let them go. So we're going to let go of your limiting beliefs. This is what gets really fun. And I've talked about this for years, and it is my favorite tip. Okay. If you get anything out of today, this will change your life and your business forever. I know that bar is really set high, but I really mean it. So a few years ago, it feels like 10 years ago, but a few years ago, literally anytime I would get a request coming in to like do something, right? They would say, hey, can you come to this speaking gig? Can you do this video for us? Can you come to this event, right? Whatever it may be. I got all of these requests always coming in, invitations to networking events, all of these things. And guess what? I would say yes, because my limiting belief was FOMO, right? If I don't go to this, then my business is going to suffer, right? But when you say, and you know this, when you say yes to something or someone, you're also saying no to something or someone else. It's a two-sided response, right? When you say yes to something, you're saying no to someone and something else, all right? So what happened was, was I would be saying yes, like I was like, Oprah, yeah, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. And guess what? Oh my gosh, my inbox flooded, my calendar flooded, my to-do list flooded, right? Because one little yes actually turned into this mountain of yeses, right? That come with a lot of responsibility. One event, I want you to think of one event that you've gone to, let's say in the past year. One event isn't just one event on your calendar. There is prep work typically, even if it's like, what am I going to wear? Who's going to take care of the kids? What are they going to eat, right? I have to drive there, which means I need gas. What are the directions? What is there dinner there? Do I need to eat dinner, right? There's all these little teeny things that come with one commitment that we don't see when we say yes, okay? And if you're saying yes like Oprah, now you've just multiplied it and created this monster sometimes in your life and your business. And that's when it feels suffocating. That's when it feels like you're starting to sacrifice everything that you love in order to grow something, okay? No more. These policies that you're about to create are going to change your life and your business forever. Because when that happened, I created a policy. And my policy was only one night commitment per week. I tried to always keep it on Thursdays. And it was crazy. That little tiny small shift created this mountain of change in my life, in my business, in my relationship, right? Because my husband would even say, oh, it's Thursday. Do you have a commitment, right? He would look at the calendar. Do you have a commitment? What's going on, right? And it was just a bonus if I said, no, I don't have anything, right? Because I'm not going to fill it just to fill it. But that one little policy created massive change in my life. So I want you to think of 5 policies that you can have. And these can be policies like, for example, the one night commitment. Maybe you only want to do so many calls per day. If you do a lot of calls with people, whether they're discovery calls, sales calls, information calls, training calls, whatever it may be, you are the CEO of your own life and business. So I want you to think about, and typically what helps with this is what's so stressing you out right now, and how can we create a policy around that, right? Because guess what? Policies in life, there's policies all around us. I like to joke, literally when you buy coffee from somewhere, a hot coffee, it literally says the coffee is hot. So simple, right? But they had a lawsuit about it because they didn't have it on there. Somebody spilled coffee and sued them, right? So the same is true about your life and your business. We need to literally bulletproof it by saying only one late night commitment per week. Only 2 calls per day. I'm going to take Saturdays off, and those are going to be my family days. I am going to work out 5 days a week, right? I want you to think of things that aren't coming to you naturally, right? Your intrinsic priorities, and I want you to create policies to help elevate the priorities, right? And make sure that you are bulletproofing your life and your business, because it makes it non-emotional, right? When we follow a policy, it's like, I'm sorry, I've already committed, and you don't have to tell somebody, you don't owe them anything, right? But you can say, I'm booked for the week. They don't need to know that your policy is that you only do one late night booking, right? It's okay. So you can literally say, I'm booked. And that's that, and it's okay. And I always leave the door open. If I can't make it a commitment to somebody because of my policies, I say, thank you so much for thinking of me, but however, I can't be there. And please keep inviting me. And I genuinely mean that, because if and when I can, I will absolutely be there. But we can't say yes to everyone and say no to you, because you could have a 7-figure business and be absolutely miserable. So I don't want that then, and I don't want that now for you and for your loved ones and your business and your life and your self-care. It's just not worth any amount of money, any amount of stress. So if you build this now, the happiness will come. And when you're super happy in your life, it doesn't mean it's perfect, right? But when you're super happy in your life, it creates this magnet for so much other good in your life and your business, okay? So this, you're probably like, how the heck does this relate to sales? I 100% know and believe that it does. So please take this seriously. Think of those 5 policies. You can of course have more, but I think 5 is really good. And you need to know what they are. Bonus points if you tell your loved ones, like even your significant other, your kids, because then they can hold you accountable. Maybe you don't want to do any emails or notifications or anything after 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, right? Or maybe every day, but these are policies. So I want you, how you can create these is really thinking about what does not have structure in your life right now? What is stressing you out? What is giving you anxiety right now? And how can we create some policies around that to get you feeling really amazing? And here's the thing I want you to remember too, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like when I have an event week, all policies are out the door, right? Everyone knows in my life, it is event week, it is conference, like it is all hands on deck. It's temporary, right? So the policies are there to be a guiding tool for you. Now, that doesn't mean every single week you can be like, woo, like it's whatever week, so I'm just gonna not honor my policies, but there are exceptions and you can obviously use those to your discretion. But the goal is that I would say at least 80% of the time they're helping guide your life, your schedule, your business, you, right? To be able to get the life that you want every single day. So you're gonna go through those. So we're knocking down the limiting beliefs. We've created our policies, all right? So let's keep on moving here because I never wanna waste any of your time. All right, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. We need a better morning routine. Even if you're like, I'm good, I have the best morning routine ever, how can you make it even better? I never feel like we should settle for good or great. We should settle for, oh my gosh, this is freaking amazing. We can always be reaching up, right? We can always be reaching up. So if you already feel like you have an amazing morning routine, I want you to say, how can I make it even more amazing? Can you add in some love bombs? Can you add in some meditation? Can you add in one project that you're creating and working on? Can you add in maybe a morning wake-up call with somebody? That has been one of my favorite things. So there's 3 key things that I do in my morning routine that I've done consistently for many weeks, and I feel so amazing. I work out. That's first. I put my oxygen mask on and I work out. I have noticed if I try to push my workout off later in the day, it stresses me out. And then I have a kid climbing on me and I have to stop and start things, and then I'm sweaty and then I have to go shower, and I've noticed, right, because I've done some experimenting, I've noticed, you know what, I don't honestly love waking up and then going right to a workout, but I feel so amazing after that I'm like, okay, this is when it has to happen. This is when it gets to happen. And I have seen so much more consistency because of that. And then it's already a quick win. And I've gotten a nice sweat in. And then I go right into my morning sales session with the Entrepreneur Virtual Gym. So I go right into that. They see me in all my glory and all my sweat, no makeup, because that's life and that's business. And then the last thing is getting one thing out of the way. So Voxing my clients, checking email, like just one thing that's going to really help just knock it out of my way. Typically, I actually like to do a nagging task when Em goes back to school, which is happening very soon. Then I'll have more project time during the day, and I actually prefer that. So I have, I've had a meal, I've had coffee, I've had water, and I can like really dig in for hours. So right now, it's just not our reality to like dig into something full on. So I do some quick wins to get some like nagging tasks out of the way, or a quick project or a quick email or a quick video, something quick to really feel amazing. So I really want you to think of how your morning routine can be even better, because we can always get better. So the next part you're going to do in this workbook is your themed days. Everyone asks about my themed days, so I'm gonna go through them really quickly because they have really helped me and I've refined them over the years. So I wanna go ahead and share those with you quickly, and you can modify them as you see fit. But they help me keep structure, but I am a creative soul, so I love to have flexibility in my week, but this helps me really stay on track. So Mondays are my admin days. That's when and admin doesn't always just mean like emails and billing and everything, but it's the day I do field a lot of that too, that day. And then I know I have plenty of extra time to work on projects, nagging tasks, website building, funnel building, setting my week up, all of that, because I noticed with myself when I tried to do it on Sunday, I felt like I had no time with family, no time for self-care. And then I already had a lot of anxiety because I felt like, well, I'm starting my week so strong and hardcore that I would prefer to feel that to Monday, okay? So I do a lot of that admin related things on Monday. Tuesdays are what I call team day. So we have team calls with our team. I have client calls, and it is like a back-to-back day where I'm like literally go. And I actually prefer that because I stack it all in one day and I'm mentally going into that day knowing that this is gonna be an intense, hardcore day. And if I can survive it with a toddler, it's gonna be so much easier when I have support with childcare. So there's that. Wednesday I call my dream day. So this is when I get into something that's gonna really move the needle forward in my business that is more working on my business, right? So there's working in your business, which is more in the weeds, right? These are weeds right here. And working on your business is something more in the trees, right? It's gonna be reaching up. It's gonna really help me. So this would be creating a keynote, building out a course. It would be pitching, right? It's something that's really going to drive my business forward. So I call that my dream day. I am also using this day for strategy, for my coaching, right? Like I pay for coaching, so coaching on that day, therapy on that day. So really this is a heavy team day. This is a heavy like me day, and I get to choose how I spend that. And then Thursdays are my marketing days. So typically this is when I like meet with people either in person or virtual, podcasting, anything marketing related. I try to drive there. Any networking events, speaking engagements, if I can control that. It depends on the event. And then Fridays, I like to keep a lot lighter, whether I have childcare or not, but I call that my follow-up Friday. So that's literally following up with any leads, closing out emails, closing out the week, really wrapping it up in a pretty bow as much as I possibly can, and really wrapping it up. And then I've added this as also fun day, okay? Get a massage, go for a longer workout, go have lunch with a friend when we can do that, okay? So follow up and fun. I don't like to really stack a lot. Like I would never put team day on Friday. No way, no way. It would not make sense for them or for me. So Tuesday works really well because I've already put my oxygen mask on for me and my business. And then team day, I'm already ready to go all in with them. And then it just has worked really nicely. I try to be off as much as as I can on Saturdays and make that family day as much as I possibly can. And Sundays, as of right now, I've been doing a little bit of work, but not a ton. But when we get back full-time care, this will go away, okay? But right now I'm like, I don't have a lot of childcare right now, so I need that. And I'm okay with that, right? Because it all balances out, right? So, and I never want you to feel bad for working in or on your business. Like, oh my gosh, it's a lot this week. You have to know that it's okay. You get to take care of yourself. So I never want you to sacrifice yourself. But some weeks it is going to be more intense. That's business, right? And you have to be okay with that. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. But the biggest thing I want you to hear from this masterclass and implement is that, are you taking care of you? Are you truly happy? Are the people around you happy? And if not, it's okay, but let's make a plan, right? Everyone thrives when there's a plan. Everyone thrives when there's routine. Everyone thrives when they're all on the same team. And that's really what I want in part 2 for you, is like, let's get you there, but we need a lot of clarity before we do that, right? Okay, so we're almost to the end of this and I'm really excited. So then I want you to think of small shifts that you can implement today, right? So I put some on there, like check your screen time, have screen time limits, turn off all notifications. I have no notifications on my phone anymore. Holy crap, the only notifications I have are text messages and Voxer, which is for my clients, but that's it. No Facebook notifications, no Instagram notifications, no Facebook Messenger. I don't even have email on my phone anymore. And that was actually a really freeing thing, which is one of your ideas as well. Delete email from your phone. You can do it. I believe in you. It is okay. Check your calendar and eliminate anything that you can. Breaking up with your phone. So I literally call this breaking up with my phone. I do it typically every day around 5 p.m. to about 7 or 8 p.m. depending on the day. This is every weekday, and that literally helps me. If I see my phone, I want to touch it, right? It's a really not good relationship, right? I want to touch it, right? We've been trained for so many years that it's a part of us, right? If you look at how many times you pick up your phone in one day, it is crazy. It's crazy. Can you think of if every time you did, like, say you picked up your phone 70 times, what if that could turn into sales, right? Like, think of that as like other things of like, oh my gosh, if I picked up my phone to do something silly 70 times, could I turn that into 70 love bombs or 70 invitations to work with me or to be on my podcast or to have a connection call, like something crazy like that. So I want you breaking up with your phone as much as you can. I think a lot of times people are like, oh, I need to go on this like phone detox for a week. Have you ever seen somebody post like, I was just off social media for a whole week, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think that's amazing if you want to do that, but that also gives a lot of business owners a ton of anxiety because they're like, that's how I grow my business. There's no way I could do that, but then they don't do anything, right? So this is what I do for that solution. I break up with my phone every single day for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long I can do that day. And I literally hide it. So that way it's out of sight, out of mind. It's kind of like cookies, right? Out of sight, out of mind. I don't see it, I don't touch it. And the mental health that will do for you is literally a game changer. So if you're already doing it, amazing. I want you to do it more. If you're not doing it, I want you to implement that today. Like, stop after the masterclass and literally go put your phone away and then go do something for you. Go do something for your family. And then set alarms on your phone. So I have sales alarms, reminders for clients, reminders for me, and they go off literally all day. So that's really, I'm replacing everyone else's emergencies from notifications with my own emergencies, right? Your emergency is not my priority is one of my favorite quotes. So now I've created all of this urgency in my life, but I told myself this is what's important. And I changed my alarms as I need to, but you could literally put motivational quotes on your phone of like, you're doing amazing, keep on going, or check your email, or all of these little things, or go work out, and then to do another 15-minute workout or another 15-minute notification where you're like, hey, you said you were gonna work out and you're not working out yet, right? So do some fun things with alarms, and then I gave you some extra space on your workbook to brainstorm other ones, so that way you can think of those. And I have homework for you because who doesn't love some good homework? So your homework for tonight is to brain dump all the nagging tasks that are literally in your head that are stressing you out. And this is what I want to be clear with nagging tasks. Nagging tasks does not mean that they're bad. It just means they're taking up a lot of mental equity. So these could be sales related. These could be things that you love to do, but they're just in your head and you haven't done them yet. And so that is what's nagging. It's stressing you out. It's in your brain. You haven't done it for whatever reason. So I want you to brain dump all of the nagging tasks, big and small. If they're big, break them down into smaller tasks. And then I want you to put it in order of importance. And then I want you to start scheduling it out for the next few days. I want you to say, okay, these are all the things I'm going to do today. These are all the things I'm going to do tomorrow. I would say about 3 days is a good enough sprint, because if you try, it's Parkinson's law, right? If you give yourself 5 days to do it, it'll take you 5 days. If you give yourself 3 days, it'll take you 3 days. Okay, so I recommend 3 days of like a surge of nagging task slaying, where you're just like this ninja and you're just going crazy and you're doing all of these things, right? You can enroll other people in it. The more accountability, the better. But every single nagging task that comes off of your plate because you got it done, I want you to think of it as like a cha-ching, right? Because the more we get this out of your way, the more you can sell. the more you can serve, the more time you have for self-care and for your family and for your friends, and the more time you can live and be happy. So we have to get rid of the nagging tasks. We'll talk more of strategies how to long-term get rid of them and make more money, and that is in part 2. But for now, I'm gonna stop there. You have some homework. Print off that workbook if you can, or rewrite it out, or do whatever you need to do. But hop back in for part 2, which is happening in just a few days. If you're watching it live, if you're watching the recording, you can go right to that. But I am so excited for you. Let me know what you got out of this today, and that I will see you back for part 2, because that's where all the juicy details of the how are we actually going to move forward and make sure that this sticks and sell more and live more and be even happier. So I hope you got a ton out of today. Feel free to share this with another business owner that you know needs this, and it's okay. That's what I want you to know. It is okay to not be happy in your business. It is okay to feel like you are working like crazy. What's not okay is not doing anything about it. So I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. It means the world to me that you took the time to work on your business and becoming more efficient, and even more than that, just happier. I want you so happy. I want you so successful that you cannot stand it. So hang in tight. We will get you there. We will get you feeling so amazing. And I cannot wait for that moment and that message when you are on top of the world and you cannot believe it. I want that for you so badly. So I will see you back for part 2. Bye.